Hey friends, welcome to Creative X. My name is Brad Hussey and I'm a web designer. So today we're going to be just taking a real quick look at a website that was submitted by one of our crew members in the Creative X crew. If you're not part of the Creative X crew, I suggest you check it out. It's our free community for professional web designers and creatives who build websites for clients. Links are in the description below. Strongly encourage you to join us. Now with that said, Joe is a member of the Creative X crew and he's shared this website with us that he's been working on with a client. I'm really excited to check it out. So let's jump over there now and see what we've got. So here we've got the stokedsurfschool.co.uk. It's a surf school over in the UK. And my first impressions here are the branding is on point. This logo with the waves / wind and we have a surfboard here with the fin. Stoked Surf School, really nice typography choices. I mean, right off the get-go, I like the black. I like the contrast between the black and the white. The font choices here, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good font and like they really nailed it with the design and branding so far. Now, what I'm looking at here is we have a carousel, kind of a unique treatment of a carousel. It's a little bit different than the usual full screen carousel. It's kind of over to the right in a grid-like fashion. And it's kind of neat because on each of the slides, we have a little bit of a timer until it gets to the end. And then I think the idea is that it's supposed to switch. My one little feedback item here is if this is being treated as a progress bar, I would imagine that it should switch by the time it gets to the end of this progress bar. But as you can tell, it gets to the end of the progress bar, waits for a while, then it switches. Now that's a little bit confusing to me. Is this a progress bar? Is it not a progress bar? Now I'm a little confused. What I would recommend here, just to make this small little piece a little more intuitive, is to slow that progress bar down so that once you reach the end of it, it switches the slide. My one thought here is the text on top of the images looks like it's baked right into the graphic. So this graphic was created, you know, in Figma or Photoshop or whatever, with the text right on the graphic. Now that's not good for SEO. It also doesn't look as good because it's now a bitmap graphic. It's a JPEG or a PNG and it's pixel based. So you can't select the text, which is a bit of a bummer. And it's not as crisp on these big Retina screens that we have available to us. Even on our phones, those Retina screens, they'll really show when you're using a bitmap graphic for text, doesn't look as nice. And if we want to stay stoked and feeling good, we're not going to do that. So my recommendation here is in this carousel slide, every one of them, don't use text as a graphic baked into the image itself. Put an actual text element in there, and then you can make it so that it looks sharp on all the devices. Other than that, I'm liking this carousel. I think it's working good. Up here in the header, we've got 6 items. Oh, I like the micro interaction when we hover over top. It's very nice, a little underline that kind of comes in, goes out. Nice little touches here. The font size is a little small here. You know, and I'm on a big screen, like that's pretty small. Maybe I would consider bumping that up just a little bit. And I might even consider making this all caps. I mean, in the navigation menu, my opinion is either go all caps or no caps. Don't title case the first letter. It's not a sentence. It's like, it's a user interface element. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's hard and fast rule here, but that would be my opinion on that. The phone number over here, WhatsApp, and then we've got TripAdvisor, Instagram, Facebook icons. I feel like this clutters up a little bit. I'm wondering if you can make these a little bit more subtle, you know, make these not white by default, maybe make them black by default. And when you hover, then do some sort of micro interaction hover animation or something. But the white there, a little bit much, like it's a little bit busy here already. And I think having the phone number and the WhatsApp is a great idea. So I would probably leave those, but these things are not as important. So take that back a bit. All right, scroll down. Now, first thing I can see here is I like the contrast between the font size of the header and the body, but I'm thinking that this body copy is a little too small. Just a little bit. So probably bump that body copy up a little bit. The line length is very long. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking if you bring that up a few points, then I think that would work for me. Now the same thing here, it's the same, too small. What's your surfing ability? Okay, let's check this out. We got beginner, improver, intermediate. When we hover, oh, nice. Okay, so a couple things. Cool idea here. I like the hover up. It brings it into focus. It's brighter. And then we got beginner showing up at the top, find out more. And then we got the stoke meter showing how hard each of these are. Now, here's my question here. This beginner text on the left-hand side going up and down, when I hover, it just disappears and a new one comes in from the top left. But when I hover back out, watch what happens. Beginner flaps back up as if it was down here, but it's not. So something's wrong with that animation. It's a little bit janky. Something needs to get fixed there. Check it out with the second one. Improver. Same thing happens here. I'm not sure why. That's unintuitive for me. So like that improver should, once it comes down, it should either stay there or it should go up into the top left rather than coming out from the top left. And this one disappears. When I scroll out, it flaps back up. A little confusing. What happens on the left, on the last one? That's more what I was thinking for the first and second one. You hover, that intermediate flaps, you know, it kind of flies up and straightens out in the top left. And then it goes back down. That's what you should be doing for the first and second one. So I'm not sure what happened with that animation there. I'd fix those two. What type of lesson would you like? Okay, let's see. We got standard surf lesson. All right, we got that same animation treatment, but the issue with the first and the second one is the same thing, but I'm guessing here that this third one is gonna work. No, it doesn't. Okay, so these three, yeah, it's a little weird to me. I think they all need to behave like this one. It makes a little bit more sense to me. Or find a different way of doing what you're trying to do, because it seems like something went wrong. You don't want that. Very cool pictures, very good branding, very great typography choices, cool micro interactions, but some of these animations are a little bit, like they don't tie together. So I'd fix that up. Surf hire. So that's kind of like the UK way of saying like rent a surfboard. Yes, okay. Don't need a lesson, just want to grab a board and go. Hire that surfboard, baby. That was strange, sorry. Click here for more info. Okay, this button's a little bit hard to see on the surfboard in the back here. Maybe I'd make that like, you know, give that a different primary call to action color. Maybe white with black text. That would work. I like the image though. Check out what the customers think. Great, testimonials are good. I like the user interface treatment down here, scrolling through. Maybe you can make this look a little bit more interesting. Like you already have a really cool site. Maybe you can just like modify it a little bit and make the testimonials be like a little more exciting. I don't know, just a thought. Leave us a message. Pretty standard. Maybe instead of leave us a message, maybe say something a little more specific, like stoked to get on a board. I mean, just like run with the branding. Like you've already set it up. Now like knock it down, brother. Okay, footer, nice organization. We got Stoke Surf School, Surfing England. So we got different accreditation or whatever it's called. Cool, makes you look real legit. Like it. Quick links, works, contact us. This is nice, fine, newsletter. I'm not pumped to join the newsletter when it just says newsletter. Like what am I gonna get out of it? Am I gonna get 50 bucks off or 50 pounds off my first surf lesson? You know, like 10% off my first surfboard rental or hire? Like give me something juicy there. All right, that looks great. Now let's do a real quick mobile test and we're gonna shrink this down. Now what I'm noticing here is like that text is just basically unreadable. Like I got pretty good vision. Like last time I was at the doctor's office, I saw like one of those like eye testing charts on the wall. And like I snuck a quick like, and I was able to get to like the fourth line or something. Probably like 2020 or whatever, slightly better or worse than 20. I'm not sure. I couldn't see it that well if it was 2020 or like, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Maybe my vision is not as good as I think it is. I'm just overconfident. I can't read the text is all I'm trying to say. I literally am just looking at lines of dots. So that needs to be bigger. That little wave starts to come in a little bit. Ooh, right there, it's coming into the background. At the breakpoint, it's out of the way, but in between, you might want to consider how can we maybe make it a percentage, like the size of it can be a percentage, so that as it goes down, it shrinks a little bit smaller. Something like that. Play around with that. Get that out of the way. Get it out of there. Do something with that. Let's see what else. Again, this text is too small. The same thing with these animations. They would be much better if we found a consistent treatment. But so far, that looks good. That was nice. Ooh, it stacks up. I mean, like, that's good. Menu. Text is way too small. Like, this is good. Like, honestly, just this homepage here, I imagine if you can tweak some of these things that we talked about in this little review, this would be a 10 out of 10. Brad is super stoked website. I love it. Good job. Take care of some of those issues. And like, I'd be happy as a clam in that ocean, which looks a little chilly, but fun. If you want to get a website review like this, a design feedback, design review, and you want to be the subject of me making jokes about your work, I'm just kidding. I am always nice to the people who share their work. I really appreciate it. And look, if you want to get better as a designer, if you want to learn how to get more clients, you want to improve your skills, you want to learn Editor X, join us in the Creative X crew. Those links are down in the description below, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, friends, we'll see you in another video. Ciao, ciao.